Guys, today we continue discussing habit number 1, be proactive. And this is our meeting number 3. Before we will move forward, please, any questions, any comments, any concerns, or maybe you would like to share experience. I'm primarily telling it to people who were with us for the previous meetings. Okay, then I will have like 5-7 minutes brief review for who were with us and for the new people. So we had a little homework, or Mr. Covey calls it application suggestion. So we went through 3 important topics. And it was proactivity gap, maturity formula, and determinism. I will say quickly about determinism. It's basically for self-inquiry. When you will figure out, for example, that you're saying, it's in my DNA, I'm Irish, it's my parents brought me that way, or it's the weather, or it's I'm that nationality, or I'm that religion. So do you see, it's all excuses. So what Mr. Covey is saying, just figure out that if you have them and just throw them away. It's a very convenient excuse. And here on our meetings, it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work with Mr. Covey, it doesn't work with us, and it won't work won't serve any purpose in your life. So this is now we are going to maturity. No, this is our proactivity gap. Let's go to proactivity gap. So it's Mr. Covey is calling it freedom. And what kind of freedom is that? It's our reaction between stimulus and our response. So if somebody said, for example, to me, Lina, you are good. And this moment, and this second, I'm happy. What doesn't mean that I don't have proactivity gap. I need to have a second to think. If somebody tell me something mean, I'm angry right away. So what does it mean that I don't have this proactivity gap? So we are deciding in our life almost like this all the time. So basically, we are deciding the important moments based on our emotions. And I can tell you guys, it's very, very difficult. Especially, I can tell, especially for women. And why? Because we are emotional creatures. I'm working on it for half a year. I did so many things. I won't say you everything. But when I'm quiet, when I'm fine, I remember about it. And I notice that I have results. Yes, somebody is telling me something and I feel it that I can think quietly before answer. But if I'm emotional, I am answering right away. So how difficult is that? However, if, for example, I'm working on it half a year and I'm having some results, it doesn't mean that somebody else will have that long. Usually a new habit forms in 60 days. So, and for example, my husband, he is naturally very proactive and he can think before answer. So for him, it would be easier. For me, easier maybe something else because we have our weaknesses and strengths. Right. And guys, while we finishing our habit number 1, proactivity gap, what does mean to be proactive? What does mean word proactivity. Who would say? What does mean to be proactive?
Can I say?
Yes, please.
Is to be responsible for your well-being, to be responsible to achieve anything you set forth. You are responsible for it. To be proactive is to care for yourself and not depend on others to get things done.
Beautifully said. Unfortunately, I didn't see who said it. I'm sorry, because I'm sharing in the screen and I see only a couple of people. But very well said. Thank you. Sean, please.
Hello?
Yeah, I was gonna say to take the initiative,
Yes,
to take control of the situation.
yes, yes. Beautiful, Agent Tracy.
I would say that it's to not wait for change to happen to you. Prepare for it, do what you need to do, or make it happen.
Beautiful. Thank you. Rachel.
Yeah, I think being proactive is moving your muscles, taking the necessary action to put your plan into place, that your plan that's in your head to move forward, to incorporate real-time action in your plan.
Beautifully said. Guys, you said so deep and so profound. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. So basically, I will just add what all of you said. It's actually also the ability to control your mind. Because if we control our mind, action will follow, right? We cannot do action first and then even if we do something not good, we still think it first. We cannot control our food, our diet without mind. So be proactive. It's also the ability to control your mind. Why I emphasize on it? Because when we know the source, it's easy to change our habits. For example, if we will think that everything is important, our thoughts, our action, and for example, our diet, right? We will start 3 right away and we will fail because it's too much. But if we know the source, and the source is our mind, and if we will start with our thoughts, the action and our diet will follow. And so we are at the Mr. Covey's maturity formula. Dependence, independence, and interdependence. Guys, I decided who would like to describe shortly what does it mean? Just by your words, describe the 2-3 sentences about dependence, 2-3 sentences about independence, and what is interdependence.
I can rephrase or say what I said on the WhatsApp chat.
Yes, Maria.
Sorry, I have my throat is dry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I like what you said. Please repeat.
Oh, okay. So let me go and find it so that I can say it exactly the way I said it. Okay, there's so much messages in here.
It's okay. You will find. I will ask Rachel.
Okay.
Don't be in hurry. Rachel, please go ahead. Rachel. Rachel, can you turn on your microphone, please?
Oh, I got it, but
Can you hear me?
Now we are hearing you.
Okay. All right, here's how I see these 3 adjectives, okay? Dependence, when you're dependent on someone or something, there's always a trade-off, the dependency. It's not an emotional, in any way, the dependence, you're dependent, there's a trade-off, it makes you anxious. Independence is when you have the ability not to be dependent on someone, to have your own independence, start a business, do whatever you feel that you have to do to reach interdependence. Interdependence defines having your own ability to do things on your own, create financial wealth. And then interdependence explains your interdependence with your clients, with people that are working with you. In other words, you have interdependence. It's a mutual back and forth reliance that allows the both of you to gain either a product, a market, a service, each of you to reach your goal and attaining what you want.
Rachel, up to the mark. Great answer. Thank you. Maria?
Yes.
Yes, we are listening to you.
Okay. So I'm gonna read what I wrote. Right?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh my God, I think I lost it again. Sorry. Sorry about that. You can go ahead and ask somebody else
Okay,
then, because
we will-
I can't.
We will discuss more and you will be able to. I just want to let you know, yes, your response were wonderful. So guys, Rachel said so beautifully.
Oh, I found it, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
So it is a growth journey. That's the way I wrote. It is, in my opinion, it's a growth journey. We start as dependent for our survival. Then we work on becoming independent to be freed. Becoming independent is tricky though, because it's within us, inside to out. One can't find independence through others. When we find our self-worth, then we can savor independence and freedom. Because at this point, we are in control of us and not others over us. And just like that, we start the journey of interdependence, where we can relate and work with others without losing control of ourselves.
Beautifully. You're like a it's like a poem. Very beautiful.
I like to write.
And actually, Maria also mentioned that Mr. Covey is saying that reaching our full physical maturity does not necessarily assure us of our emotional and mental maturity. I would like to ask you to have a discussion right now. I will put you in groups and discuss, please, one more question. For example, how this formula can be helpful to you. I know that this is not much new, what Mr. Covey said. However, to put that in a formula, to put it in dependence, independence, and interdependence, kind of make more visual how this formula can be helpful to you. And for example, how to deal with a dependent person. Let's assume that we are independent. Just that you are here, it already shows that you're independent. Because dependent person wouldn't come here. Dependent person what thinks? Dependent person think that he or she is good. And it's problem with all our people around. And if he or she is good, then what to bother to grow? It's you have problems, not me. So this question, I will again repeat, how to deal with a dependent person. If, for example, you feel that that person is blaming everyone around, so how people described very beautifully who are dependent person. And why you think that reaching our full physical maturity does not necessarily assure us of our emotional and mental maturity. If you would like, you can make a photo or screenshot of this, because I won't be able to write you in your groups. So let's see. Guys, how long we have 25 people? It will be 5 groups by 5 people. So I don't think so that we need a lot of time, like 7-8 minutes, I think would be enough. Please respect each other and speak slightly more than a minute. And please choose a person who will present your group opinion. I'm sure you will enjoy. Let me create. Okay, you will need to accept, right now I will send you the invitation. So when you click accept, you will be in a group right away. Guys, do you see? Do you see invitation? Maria, Ariel? Samantha? Just click on the invitation, guys. Welcome back, everyone. Please, who were in room number 1 and who is the representative who wants to say the opinion about the maturity level and why we didn't come, not everyone become mature, even we are physically can be mature, and how to deal with a dependent person. I would like to give
Please.
some suggestions. Yes, please.
Cliff?
Luis?
No, Cliff. Cliff talking about that on the
Go
room.
ahead, Cliff. So
Oh,
guys, we
okay.
need to, only just remember, we need to move ahead. So just be short and to the point. Thank you.
Yeah, I think in getting started, some people were muted and then they were off in their room and then they would come back. So it was a little challenging to get started. But what we started talking about, Nicole and I started talking, and it was good because we saw it, I think, from a little different perspectives. But we were talking about generally physical maturity is a very different thing from emotional maturity, and that some people sometimes don't get that. They don't become emotionally mature. And I think if we're doing this, we're trying to figure that out ourselves and gain perspective in life and evolve and all those attendant things. The other part of that being that how we were talking about how you would deal with a person who is dependent. And I started thinking right away of children and kids and playing a parenting role or a teacher role or a role model role. And then one of the other people mentioned, well, you know, some people seem to be always dependent. They don't come out of that state either. And that can be difficult. Some people you don't have to necessarily deal with, but others you do just in your life. And so it can become pretty darn difficult to deal with people who are always in that dependent role.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you very much. Who was from the group number 2 who would like to speak?
That was Rochelle. Rochelle, you're a presenter.
Yes, please. So guys, in room number 2, who would like to speak?
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So in our group, the first person was talking about dependence and how not to judge somebody that's dependent, which I agree with in a lot of ways, because when you have people you're working with, contractors, employees, everybody has a certain personality, and that takes into account the response, the emotional, the response, reply when they're acting a certain way, to pause. And then I made a comment that, I thought everybody was dependent. You can actually achieve independence and interdependence. And the next person said the same thing. And he made a comment that it could be a problem emotionally if somebody becomes dependent on you and you don't feel the same way, which is obvious in a personal relationship. You wouldn't be comfortable with that. And then, we talked about the emotional level of these three categories. And in a way, everybody is dependent in some way. And we all have to respond correctly and take into account the other person's character and how that's going to benefit us in a business situation, whatever situation we're in, and not react and get personally offended.
Okay, I see, guys, I see your point. So yes, it was nice and interesting approach. Okay, group number 3.
Okay, I'm speaking for group number 3.
Wonderful.
So the discussion, 2 of the members said they would set boundaries with that individual. They would limit their interaction with them, with a dependent person. One person said that to work with the person and encourage growth in that individual and get them to see things, and to work with them to get them to see things differently, and to see ways that they could be proactive, that they could take charge of their own life.
Great. I like it. Group number 4. Guys, who are from group number 4, start to be ready. Group number 5. I think in group number 4 was a few people and they were going on and out. So if group number 4 is not ready, it's okay. Group number 5, is anybody would like to talk?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Group number 5. Yeah. So Christine, Daniel, and Bill and myself are in the group, and basically Christine made something very insightful, in my opinion. Is like, she mentioned like, hey, eventually we are all dependent on something, even in the interdependent, right? Even if you're independent and interdependent, you're depending on something. And then you mentioned that at the end of the day, to deal with a dependent person is really just to be a helper, right? And it kind of makes sense, because that's where empathy comes in, right? If you're a dependent person, you always want the help, right? So therefore, to flip it, the other way, where if you see someone who is dependent, you obviously want to be the helper, right? And Bill mentioned like, yeah, you kind of hop, right? Or between dependent, interdependent, dependent, independent, interdependent, back to dependent again eventually. So either in all aspects of life. So I thought that was interesting. So that's our conversation.
Great, guys, you're a rock. You're rock stars. You did a great job. Hello, Sangeeta. And let's see what Mr. Kobe will say about this. So we are back to our PowerPoint. Do I have a volunteer to read? This is what Mr. Covey is saying, how to deal with a dependent person. So while, guys, you're right, some of them do not deal with them. If, for example, it's just a familiar person, or it's a person with whom you don't share anything, yes, Find independent or interdependent friends, and you will grow. So, however, if what to do if it's your close one, or what to do if it's already your friend, or what to do if it's your business partner, or what to do if it's your coworker, you cannot just get rid of them. So please, do I have?
I'll read.
Yes,
I'll
please.
read.
Go ahead.
The maturity formula.
Oh, no,
Interdependent.
sorry. Please read what Mr. Covey suggests, how to deal with a dependent person.
Okay. I listen more. I listen in greater depth. I express myself with greater courage. I am not reactive. I go deeper inside myself for strength of character to be proactive. I pay attention to my own behavior and try to avoid taking on their responsibilities or encouraging their independence. Their dependence, sorry.
Thank you so much, guys. What this we need to do. So what does it mean? Do not
Look at
try
yourself.
yes, do not try to change that person. Try to work on yourself. So what does it mean again? That the higher we are on this maturity formula, the more responsibility we have. Like very simple, like Patrick said in previous time when, for example, if it's a child, yes, we have more responsibility, right, to a child. And if person, unfortunately, who reach physical maturity still dependent, and we are independent, we have more responsibility. So we need to listen more. We need to have courage. We need to not be reactive. Even if a dependent person is reactive, right? Of course, a dependent person will be reactive. But also this is important. We don't need to do right now everything. Okay, I'm independent. He is dependent. Let I will do for him everything. Nuh-uh. Doesn't work this way. We need to pay attention to our behavior and try to avoid taking on their responsibilities. And because we will encourage their dependence. Richard posted on our group chat very, to me, profound comment. So he said that the pronouns that we use also show our maturity level. And he said that if you are using you should do it, you didn't do it, it's your fault, it's a dependent level. If we are saying I can do it, I will listen more, I will not be reactive, I will go deeper, I can do it. This is my responsibility, it's independent level. And of course, we can go together, we can cooperate and combine our talents to make something greater. Thank you, Richard. Richard feels not good today. He wouldn't be able to say comments. So let's say send him love that he would recover quicker. And yes, Jessica, I look forward to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Lena. And I feel dependence is really about being a victim of circumstance. It's like we're taught to be a victim by allowing, by avoiding, and in society, through our parents, I think that was such the old paradigm of victimhood. Now we're as a human evolution, we're shifting into more being an interdependent society versus a victim or an independence, because those are like interchangeable, I and you, because they're like it's like blaming. Like as a victim, you don't take responsibility and you blame somebody else. And I feel interdependence is like graduation, like an enlightenment. Like now you can still have your own identity, and it is like true. You have more responsibility as an independent person.
Yes, Yes, thank you, Jessica. Beautiful adding. Okay, guys, let's move ahead. And I see we are taking, it's beautiful conversation. I really don't want to push. However, let me tell you that I promise to you that we will finish the 7 habits in 7 meetings. Yes, I guess I wouldn't be able to fulfill my promise, so my apology for that. However, from different side, I think why should we need to be in hurry if we are having here meaningful conversation, if we can discuss. So let's go how it will go. However, I will try to stay on the topic and don't expand it for too long. So in order to move ahead, this is very important. Let's listen into our language. This is, for example, person is saying, that's me. That's just the way I am. I wanted to ask you how you interpret this sentence from a person. However, it will take a lot of time. Let's just learn from Mr. Covey what he's saying. Like I could hear it. That's me. That's the way I am. Let's see. I'm sorry, Rachel. We will move ahead. But people see it this way. I am determined. There is nothing I can do about it. He makes me so mad. We hear it all the time. But now let's see what message we are sending to people. I am not responsible. My emotional life is governed by something outside of my control. So we are definitely saying he makes me so mad. We are saying I am a dependent person. I can do that, I just don't have time. I hear it all the time. I might be saying by myself as well. I can tell you from my point of view what I learned, that if a person saying I don't have time for that, if I'm offering something, it means it's not important to him or to her. What is Mr. Covey? He's saying that something outside of me, for example, limited time, is controlling me. So again, it's a message of the dependent person. If only my wife were more patient. No, this is obvious. This is obvious. Someone else's behavior is limiting my effectiveness. I have to do it. No, guys, this is a complete surprise. This is so stuck with us, and we think that we are so responsible when we are saying that. I even feel it sometimes, and just through my learning, I catch myself and they remove that. So instead of I have to do it, I'm actually saying I do it. I want to do it, but not I have to do it. So what's going on? Circumstances or other people are forcing me to do what I do. I'm not free to choose my own actions. So even if, for example, you're a boss and when you're saying, I have to do it, it's still, you're not free. You can say, I do it. I want to do it, but not I have to do it. Rachel, can we move ahead or you want to say something?
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say about these sentences, because I have a very good friend that emanates every one of these sentences. I believe these complaints and anger, the way that people can't see.
Rachel, you muted
Click
yourself.
the microphone. You muted yourself. Rachel, you muted yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I believe that people that do this constantly, over and over again, that blame the outside environment. They're angry constantly complaining. They have no impulse control. They can't control their own behavior and they blame other people. I believe that this is a sickness and an addiction to complaining and playing the victim. I mean, you
Yes.
know, I'm not putting down a victim role because people are abused. I'm saying this type of behavior over and over again is the top people say it's an addiction.
Yes, thank you,
They do
Rachel.
this, they're addiction, they're addicted.
Thank you. I value your comment. Let's concentrate on how to fix it. What can we do? Let's concentrate on solution. So, and Mr. Covey offering us solutions. Thank you, then, Rachel. So this we will go very quickly. I wanted to skip it. However, Mr. Covey doesn't take it easy on taking initiative. He's saying that people who are taking initiative, they're like a day, and people who don't take initiative, they're like night. And the difference between them, 5,000%. I actually was really surprised, and about 5,000% the difference. So just consider about it. And he's saying that the people who ended up with good job, only proactive ones, they don't wait when something fall on their head. And the people who are searching for something, for good friends, for good spouse, for good job, for good place, they are taking initiative. Nothing is falling on their heads. This is the last really beautiful topic, one of my favorite as well, circle of concern versus circle of influence. So this is another excellent way to become more self-aware. What does he mean, more self-aware? So he's just saying that many things what we are doing it automatically. Remember habit appear unconsciously. So we are just not self-aware. So let's guys to be more self-aware. Now we will be more self-aware. So he's saying that each of us have a wide range of concerns, and we see circle of concern. So problem at work, national debt, health, nuclear war, children. However, circle of concern is where we don't have our control. And proactive people, actually, they put their effort on the circle of influence. And this is the spiritual truth. Wherever we put our attention, that thing is enlarging, magnifying, and becomes stronger. It doesn't mean that only if we put on our circle of influence, it's considered, our attention considered as a magic. It's considered like God power. So whatever we put attention, treat your attention like something very, very important and sacred. And if we put our attention to circle of influence, of course, it's expand and circle of concern becomes smaller. And if we put on the circle of concerns, the circle of influence became shorter. It's not shorter or smaller. And so interesting, I was talking last time with Tracy, one by one, because she wasn't able to go in the group. And she said that she figured out it by herself. So great job, Tracy. I just remember our conversation. And in order to better understand and differentiate between the circle of influence and circle of concern, Mr. Covey is saying that the problems we face are fall in 3 areas: direct control, indirect control, and no control. Let's brainstorming. Can you text in chat quickly, what do you think is belong to direct control? What kind of problems, issues, or what is belong to our direct control? And I will look our chat and I will start to read it. Yeah. Okay, guys, can you type in chat? What do you think is belong to our direct control? If it's easy for you, okay, things we can change. It's a good answer. Daily activity, words, thoughts, responses, decision, happiness. It's interesting. Waking up every morning, your action. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see. We finish with that. So this is our direct control. My thoughts, my words, my actions, my behavior, my reactions, my decision, my choices, attitude, mindset, my mood, my work ethic. You were absolutely correct what you wrote. Okay, now let's put in chat again, brainstorming. What do you think is belong to indirect control? And I'm going to chat. So what do you think? Circumstances, environment, other people's action. Beautiful, Nicole. Rachel, nice also. Так, what else? Indirect control. Traffic, okay. The government, okay. The opposite of direct control. Yes, other people perception reactions. The weather. Relationship with others, other people, right, right. Okay, guys, great. Let's see. This is number 2, indirect control. And who is Nicole, or who said other people's action was beautiful, said other people's thought. It's interesting about my commitment. No, let's do not go into great details because it can be also my commitment depend from the circumstances and depend from other people. Just let's look my reputation, where I work, who I work, my other people's choices. Так, please, microphone, guys. So this is indirect control. Just read by yourself also. How much my even partner loves me. Now, this I took from the internet, and I don't want to go into details, but some like thoughts and other people's action are really, really good. And the last, no control. I'm going to the chat. That outcome. Outcome, yes, time, okay. What other things? Yes, think. Cliff, right. Patrick, time, yes, good. What else? What other thing? Yes, I read it already. No control. It can be much more, guys, much more. Weather, environment. Weather, yes, that's good. Maria said environment, good. Weather, Violeta said yes, good. The war, yes, Sean. Okay, great job. I'm closing the chat and let's look. Weather, world peace, threat of war, government, death, where you were born, traffic, strangers' behavior, strangers' comment, celebrities' opinion, stock, the media, sport match, traffic, your past decision, choices, behavior. Guys, we don't have power. Yes, we have no control. Absolutely great job. So I have to say that habit number 1, 2, and 3, it will be, we will work over here in number 1, direct control. Habit number 1, 2, and 3. And habit number 4, 5, and 6, it would be indirect control. We will work here. However, what habits will work with the habit number with the no control? It's a tricky question. You don't need to answer that. Mr. Covey is saying that no control problems actually also involve responsibility. And this responsibility is to change the line on the bottom of our face to smile, to genuinely and peacefully accept these problems and learn to live with them, even though we don't like them. And he's saying that share in the spirit embodied in the Alcoholic Anonymous prayers. I absolutely love it. Do I have a volunteer to read, please?
I do.
Yes,
I
please.
love this.
Yes, me too. Go ahead.
Okay. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. Yes, I cannot add anything. Let's move ahead. Guys, I planned to have a discussion on this wonderful, wonderful quote. However, we won't be able to finish and we have to. See, I just got myself. So, and I want to, and I hope you want to finish today with habit number 1. Let's skip discussion and just read it and think ourselves, because we discuss everything. Anytime we think the problem is out there, that very thought is the problem. So I think it's nice to print it and put on the wall. And when we start to blame somebody else, we need to know already that that thought is the problem. Just stop thinking that and concentrate on yourself. And if you will become spiritual, this is the first step. Concentrate on yourself, not on the world. This year, we came to a proactive approach to a mistake. Can I have a volunteer to read what Mr. Covey thinking and saying about the mistake?
I volunteer.
Yes, Jessica, go ahead.
The reality is that everybody makes mistakes. The issue isn't whether you will make them, it's what you will do about them. It's whether you will choose the path of humility and courage or the path of ego and pride.
Beautiful, thank you. So he's saying, I won't repeat, everybody knows that we make mistakes. However, sometimes or always we are getting so upset, we are so angry with ourselves that it can take us weeks and weeks to recover. And the question is why? Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes exist for the purpose of learning. So stop, be upset. Figure out, we will do what Mr. Covey is saying, not from me. So basically, choose the path of humility and courage. It's actually a proactive approach, right? And path of ego and pride is reactive approach. And let's see what is belong to proactive approach and what's belong to reactive approach. Acknowledge it instantly, correct it, learn from it, and actually I added move on. So guys, and while you will work on it, you won't have time to beat yourself, to be upset. You basically just will be busy. And it's exactly what we need to do with the mistake. That's it. And this literally turns a failure into a success. And if you will read a lot of other quotes, you will read that actually the success, it's another stick of the stick. If you want to double your success, double your mistakes, double your failures. So this is only one way how to be successful. It's make a lot of mistakes. So please stop upset and worry about mistakes. We are all doing mistakes, and I want to encourage you. I just recently one mistake, and I hope that people seen it and they understood that I acknowledge it, I correct it, I learn from it, and I move on. So I just did a mistake. And what is the reactive approach? It's don't acknowledge, don't correct, don't learn, and stay with that mistake. And usually it's put a person on a self-deceiving, self-justifying path, often involving rationalization. And he is calling, Mr. Covey is calling it rational lies. What we are doing, we are rationalizing. I know what I did this because of that. If you catch yourself on this, just stop it. And this is, to me, also fascinating quote, or the greatest mistake, actually, a man can ever make is to be afraid of making one. Guys, with this quote, we cannot miss. Proactive people make love is a verb. Reactive people make it a feeling. Wow. What he wanted to say. Let's, would you like to quickly go to a group? We will go just for 5 minutes. Let's go.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go. Luis, let's go to the group, okay? And we will discuss it there. You didn't turn on your microphone.
Okay, perfect. Let's go to the other group.
Yes. So we will again go to 5 groups. And
Same 5 groups?
I will recreate them. So please accept invitation. Let's go for about again 7-8 minutes.
We're group number 1. Who wants to speak? I mean, I'm in it. I was the only girl there. Who
Why
wants
don't
to
you give
speak?
it? Why don't you give us a women's intuition on it?
Well, Sean, right? Sean?
Yes.
Yes. Sean started the conversation. I agree with what he was saying, that love. I forgot the quote. Love is an action, right?
One's an action, and one
One's
was
a
a verb,
verb.
and one was a feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Love seen as an action, as a verb.
Yes.
Okay, so we were discussing it. So we see a love as gosh, I'm so bad. I have a bad memory. Can somebody just take over and I add it? But I see it as an action. Yes, as an action. Verb.
It was some of us agreed it was more like I thought it was like action, love being a verb, like action speaking louder than words, what we do, because we could say anything.
And I was correlating it with being proactive, looking at it as a verb versus looking at it as a feeling, which makes for me, I see it more as a reactive.
Yes, Maria. Thank you, Sean. Group number 2.
Hi, I'm gonna speak for group number 2.
Yes.
Yes, I think love is an action because you have to prove it, right? It's not only with words. You don't say it, yeah, I love you and whatever. You have to prove it with action. So I stand by you. I care for you. I'm there when you need me. Like I'm 100% there for you. So, and I also believe in the love that you guys choose. So when you choose that person chooses you, and from there you start like putting actions together to start building upon that love. And we also were discussing about, like sometimes we say, hey, just, like spend time to get alone and, love yourself. And because you need to love yourself before loving other people. I agree with that. But then we have to be careful because sometimes we love ourselves too much. And we're very comfortable with that position. And we sometimes don't allow other people to come and, like prove the love. And other times you are just standing there for some people making all the effort and you just like don't do anything. So those were the things that we were discussing.
Very quality answer. Thank you, Ivora. Group number 3.
I'm speaking for group number 3.
Go ahead, Stefan.
Okay, so it comes down to our summary is actions speak louder than words. What you do for on another person's behalf that benefits them, that shows them that you value that they're valued in your life. That is love the verb. Right, and that you can do that regardless of how you feel about the person.
Yes, Stefan, very good, thank you. Group number 4. I think it was just a couple of people there. Group number 5.
I guess I could speak for group number 4.
Wonderful,
We ultimately, I want to assume that we ultimately just kind of agreed that it is an action verb more than anything else. And for me, I was saying, for me, it is an action verb as much. It can be placed into action as much as it can be verbalized. And for me, they both go hand in hand. So I think they definitely tie into each other, but it's more of an action word than anything else.
Yes, thank you.
And I think that's what the book spoke on too, from what one of the ladies was saying.
Okay, thank you, Ariel. And group
I just
number
wanted to
5?
say, sorry.
Yeah, I'll volunteer we didn't decide who was going to speak on behalf of group 5. Patrick kind of took the lead and he already spoke in the previous discussion.
Okay.
So we kind of went off and compared love as a verb and as a feeling to the area of mistakes, which was the previous topic, and we even got into entrepreneurial qualities and that sort of thing. But just the more I think about it, I think the topic is a difficult one to fathom because grammatically, actually, love is a noun. It's a verb. If I say I love you, but it's a noun if I say I offer you all my love. Or it's a noun if I say living without love is a sad life. So, and then love as if love is a feeling is a verb, and it can also be a noun. So they cross over, and I think the important distinction is the proactive and the reactive. Not to get hung up on the verb and the noun and all that stuff. I think in order to perpetuate love and make it a real quality in life, I think we all agreed that we have to make an effort to share it, not just feel it, not just expect it, but to give it. And I hope I'm expressing our group's sentiment on that topic, even though it was a difficult one to fathom. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Peter. Tracy, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I wanted to say that when you think of love as a feeling, you can't depend on feelings because feelings change. Whereas if you love somebody, using it as an action, regardless of how you feel, you're still going to perform that action if it's really love.
Great, great. Up to the mark, Tracy. So it's exactly what Mr. Covey was saying. So guys, you said so great. I will just say a couple of sentences that yes, reactive people make it a feeling. They are driven by feelings. And he's saying that Hollywood has generally scripted us to believe that we are not responsible, that we are a product of our feelings. Guys, stop believing movies. You won't believe me, but I know some people who are very actually successful, independent, and very mature. However, we have some dependency. They believe to movies. Stop believing to movies. They are making for entertainment. It's not the truth. And proactive people make love a verb. So love is a value that is actualized through loving actions. So great discussion. Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed.
Can I add something?
Yes, go ahead.
I have very bad short-term memory, but when we were discussing it, I was saying that love is used as a metaphor to explain proactive versus reactive.
Yes.
And I forgot to add that. I just wanted to share that.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Thank you. This quote we discussed last time, so I won't ask you to discuss it again for the new people. It's not what happens to us, but our response to what happens to us that hurts us. And this time, from the end of chapter number 1, Be Proactive, he added that it is not what others do or even our own mistakes that hurt us the most. It is again our response to those things. So this is what he means, that of course things can hurt us physically or economically and even can cause sorrow. We cannot deny it. However, he's saying that our character, our basic identity does not have to hurt at all. And in fact, he's saying that this most difficult experience become our forge, our character, and develop our internal power. It sounds good. Please don't think that it's just beautiful words. When we continue to study more, when we will realize, you a lot realize already or know before even this meetings. I don't mean that here we are opening eyes on life. No, we will just make it more deep. We will make it grow. We will be very stable in who we are, and we won't depend from somebody's opinions and whatever will happen. And this is our 7 habits circle. Just briefly on it, that habits 1, 2, and 3 in the following chapters deal with self-mastery. So private victory, it's self-mastery. And then we will move, whatever we have dependency, we will remove them and we will move to independent. And when it's only after our private victory, only habits after habits 1, 2, and 3. And when we have the character base, then we will able to go to public victory in habits 4, 5, 6, and work on teamwork, on cooperation and communication. And habit number 7 is the habit of renewal and embodied all the other habits. Guys, and this Mr. Covey called it the application suggestions. And I'm calling it simply homework. So please understand, it's fun to be together and the chat, But please remember, it's just information. If you put this information in your head and think that something magically happened, I can tell you nothing will happen. You will successfully forget it in 1 month. We need to put into the practice. If you would like to drive a bike, like ride a bike, and you can look all instruction, you can even watch videos on YouTube, all of them. But initially, if you won't sit on the bike, you won't be able to ride the bike. And this is absolutely the same. I really encourage you, please do this homework. For people who belong to, who are members of our group chat, I will post it. Guys who are not there, please make a screenshot or make a photo and just decide if you are not ready right now, maybe someday you will think, yeah, I need to do it. Do I have a volunteer, please, to read it? And read one by one. So let's see.
I can read it.
Then we will take a couple of people to read. Yes. So Tracy, you were the first.
Okay.
Go
For
ahead.
a full day, listen to your language and to the language of the people around you. How often do you use and hear reactive phrases such as, if only, I can't, I have to?
Thank you. And also, you remember we were have a chapter, slide, listening our languages. There is much more. It's your fault. If only you would do this. This is, I have to do that. Many others. So listen.
I can read the next one if you want.
Go ahead, Peter. Thank you.
Number 2, identify an experience you might encounter in the near future where, based on the past experience, you would probably behave reactively. Review the situation in the context of your circle of influence. How could you respond proactively? Take several moments and create the experience vividly in your mind, picturing yourself responding in a proactive manner. Remind yourself of the gap between stimulus and response. Make a commitment to yourself to exercise your freedom to choose.
This is so deep. It's very difficult to add something, but this what he wants to say, that when we are in some situation, we become emotional, and we become that emotion. Why we cannot react? Because we become that emotion. We are gone with that emotion, and we become to react subconsciously, unconsciously. So because he's asking us to prepare before, and there for the first time, don't be discouraged if it didn't happen. Of course it won't happen. We were practicing this all our lives. How can we change right away? But if you will remember while you are in your old habit, if you will remember before, good for you. This is why you need to imagine it. How he's saying, imagine that situation. Remember that situation. So like vividly in your mind. So but if you, for example, already in an old habit and you suddenly remember about your new habit, stop your old habit and insert new habit. This is only the way how we can change. And remember, it's not 1, 2, 3 days work. It's a long way, but it's worth it. Yes, please, anybody would like to read number 3?
I can read number 3.
Go ahead, please.
Select a problem from your work or personal life that is frustrating you. Determine whether it is a direct, indirect, or no control problem. Identify the first step you can take in your circle of influence to solve it, and then take that step.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Violeta. Yes, it's our topic was for today, direct, indirect, and no control problem. If we have direct control, then change it. If we have indirect control, we'll still need to do our best, but we need to understand that we cannot expect the results which we want. Just what to do in this situation, just do your best, and that's it, and don't be concerned about results. And no control, just change your smile, your face to smile, and just accept it. And number 4,
I'll read it.
Thank you.
Try the 30-day test of productivity. Be aware of the change in your circle of influence.
Thank you, Patrick. And this is the 30 days productivity. So test this principle for 30 days and see what happens. Make small commitments and keep them. Be a light, not a judge. Be a model, not a critic. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. It's a lot, but it's 30 days. And how I remember to do something, I just write it and they put in the places where I am only in this situation, I remember. Guys, thank you so much. Let me stop sharing. I so like to see your faces. I tremendously enjoyed our conversation. I again encourage you to join our group chat. You will see all applications, suggestions. You will see our recordings. You can ask questions, you can share experience or post some topic for discussion. Again, if, for example, you're concerned with notifications and they can bother you, we can be very active. Please just mute notifications and that's it, and answer when you are enjoying, when you need it. So our meeting is finished. Thank you so much for participation. I look forward to see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.